The auditorium was built as a living memorial in the 1950s to honor the Riley County veterans who served their country during World War II. Several residents, led by World War II veterans, stood up and expressed their desire to not lose this piece of history.
That's an important memorial that shouldn't be just changed without really thinking about it. And we started looking into the historic files and found out, wow, it is historically significant and it was a memorial and we need to speak up about it.
The Manhattan City Commission voted against the proposed plan. Instead, the commission will study a new plan to refurbish the auditorium and stage and add the Park and Rec offices to City Hall.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we'll see some reptilian friends who made their way to Manhattan. So stay with us here on Channel 8 News.
The first native limestone was carved into the campus of Kansas State University. Since that time, K-State has known what it takes to rise to the challenge. Now, we're challenging ourselves to become a top 50 public research university by the year 2025. To reach that status, our research dollars, endowment, career award winners, and patents are growing to match our internationally recognized programs and research. K-State 2025 is more than a challenge, it's a commitment. A commitment we'll keep. Because where there's a wildcat, there's a way. Around here, school pride isn't just some slogan on a t-shirt. It's the spirit that comes from understanding we are stronger when we're together. That's the essence of K-State Proud, a nationally recognized student-led fundraising campaign. In just 6 years, K-State Proud has helped raise more than $500,000 to help students who need it most and appreciate it best. Think of it as Philanthropy 101. K-State Proud. It's just one more way the Kansas State family treats one another, well, like family. Where there's a wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. The A.Q. Miller School of Journalism and Mass Communications hosted their second annual Kedzie-Palooza to get new and old students excited about the school year. The event featured student organizations as they gathered outside Kedzie Hall for a night of networking and fun. Students even had the chance to win prizes during a raffle. A recent welfare check has turned into a homicide investigation. The Riley County Police were sent to the residence of 68-year-old John Burrows, where they found his deceased body.
The police department is asking for anyone to contact them with information about Burrows' death as they continue to investigate. If you're a fan of creepy crawlers, you might have been at the Reptile Expo that was recently held here in Manhattan.
Our very own Channel 8 reporter Chelsea Stover was there getting in on all of the action. Who do you have there with you, Chelsea?
This is Cleopatra. She's a leatherback bearded dragon, and I recently went and visited with many of her reptile friends.
Spiders, snakes, lizards, and turtles were all over Manhattan's 4 Points by Sheraton Hotel. Visitors traveled from states away to attend the 6th annual Konza Reptile Breeders Expo. Feeder food for the animals, like mice and crickets, as well as habitats for them, were available for purchase. Sponsor Vince Lombardi thinks reptiles make excellent pets.
Well, it's really important because Manhattan is a transient community. You know, people come here for 4-year stints, essentially, be it the military or K-State, and they don't want to have a dog, or especially if they're in a tight apartment or they're sharing space. And sometimes it's just easier to have an animal that you can put in a cage and be caged. And a reptile is a little bit more amenable and workable with than like a fish.
Tanks and setups were given away by the expo sponsors, and for the brave, attendees had the chance to have their picture taken with a large snake.
This guy is a leatherback translucent bearded dragon. So he has a smooth back and more visible skin. But any kind of reptile that people aren't threatened by is a good one.
Many claim the Konza Reptile Breeders Expo is one of the best in Kansas. The crowd was large and steady all day.
Reptiles make great pets. She sleeps at night and just basks in her tank all day. Very easy to take care of.
That is so incredible. How was that event?
It was really good. There were a lot of people. It was really busy. I was surprised at how many people actually liked reptiles. So.
Wow.
Now about Cleopatra, what does she eat?
She mainly just eats lettuce and crickets.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea, for that report. We really appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and take a break, but stick around and stay tuned for some K-State students when they stuff their face for a good cause.
A Wildcat legacy from generation to generation.
Where my grandfather went to school.
Where my mother went to school.
It's a legacy scholarship program started by the K-State Alumni Association, specifically for the children and grandchildren of K-State alumni. When you buy a K-State license plate, you fund legacy scholarships.
Show your purple pride and be a part of the Wildcat legacy.
Look at me. I'm so cute and cuddly. I'm also very charming. I'll tell you what you want to hear and sweep you off your feet. I'm also spontaneous, maybe a little erratic at times. I take risks most people wouldn't, but that makes me fun. I'm also very persuasive. I can convince you to do something you'd never dream of doing. And you'll love my stories. I usually stretch the truth a little bit, but you'll believe me because I'm such a good liar. I'm never wrong, and I never feel guilty. I always win, but just look how cute and innocent I look. I can fool you, your parents. I can even fool your friends. Trust me.
Welcome back. We are now joined on set by Jenna Sauber of the Collegian. Thank you for joining us today, Jenna.
Thank you. And can you tell us what your official position is at the Collegian?
Yeah, this fall I'm serving as the video department editor.
Great, and what is your responsibilities?
All right, well, I have a small staff of a couple students, and we work to produce 2 to 3 videos a week that go on our website and on youtube.com to kind of tell the story of different campus events and feature some students and K-State staff.
Oh, that's awesome. So can you tell us about the importance of social media and putting those videos on YouTube, considering you guys are a newspaper?
Sure. Well, even though we are a print newspaper, it's very important that we kind of branch out and reach people as many ways that we can and make ourselves accessible in any way. So we are on Facebook and Twitter, and we have our YouTube account, eCollegian. So we recommend that people follow us on there to get up-to-date information, since we do only come out once a day.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to you coming back again.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a lot of changes occurring in Aggieville lately, so I decided to go down and take a look for myself. And while we were down there, it was just an amazing experience to be able to see all the new changes that are happening in Aggieville. So, like I said before, many of the expansions to Aggieville will be completed later this year. So keep in mind that when you head down.
It's just very reassuring that Aggieville is continuing to grow even though we're in hard economic times.
Right.
That's really great. All right, the school year is off to a great start, and so are the Greek community philanthropies. The past weekend, several philanthropies took place, including a watermelon bust and a fiesta frenzy.
Channel 8 reporter Claire Carlson is here to tell us about those 2 philanthropies that feed some hungry students.
I visited these 2 events and was surprised about how many people were present and about just how many watermelons can be in one place. Throwing watermelon, eating watermelon, and a watermelon relay race, all to raise money for the Flint Hills Bread Basket. 48 years of watermelon and sorority women.
It's been really good. It's been a lot of fun.
It took a lot of people and a lot of watermelon.
We usually buy about 500 watermelons, so by the end of it, they're all smashed, as you can see.
12 sororities competed and collected canned food, and all in all, it was a good time.
There's a watermelon twister, watermelon toss, watermelon bowling, and a chariot relay. And it's usually a lot of fun. We have every sorority come out and compete with the team. It's all their new members, and our new members coach them. It's just a good time.
And the winner is Kappa Kappa Gamma. Live music, nachos, and jalapenos, just 3 things that could be found at Alpha Zeta Delta's annual philanthropy event, Fiesta Feed. Over 1,000 servings of nachos were served, and the line extended from one side of City Park to the other. Guests got to enjoy live music by Dylan Ray and Lucas Maddie. The money raised goes to Alpha Zeta Delta's national philanthropy, Autism Speaks.
Autism Speaks is an organization that raises money for research, helps families with their needs as far as financials for education and nannies. They also are helping a lot of other communities, like raising awareness and how to detect the disorder early and get the children the help that they need.
Lots of watermelon was flying all over the place, and they said that cleanup takes about an hour and a half, using lots of hoses and spraying water everywhere. But the events were sure a lot of fun to be at.
Over 1,000 pounds of canned food, and it was over $3,000 was collected for the Flint Hills Bread Basket.
And Alpha Zeta Delta raised over $5,000 for Autism Speaks. Thanks, Claire, for that report.
Once again, we'll take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a look at this week's weather. So stay right here on Channel 8 News.
It was a routine grain elevator inspection until the explosions began. Until a blast tossed him more than 300 feet. Then it became the event that changed Kevin Saunders forever. The body of this K-State alum was broken, but his spirit? Well, that spirit not only survived, it thrived. Against all odds, Saunders transformed himself into the world's greatest wheelchair athlete, one of America's premier motivational speakers, and the first Paralympian appointed to the President's Council on Physical Fitness, Sport, and Nutrition. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. Class, study. Class, eat. Play, play, play. Study. Class, chill. Class, eat, study, play, study. Sometimes it seems there just aren't enough hours in the day at our 3 campuses, so you have to make every minute count. Especially those precious first few. That's why Kansas State alum Herbert Diamond invented the snooze alarm, a dorm room fixture. Because even when you can't wait to get started, sometimes it's nice to wait to get started. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. Now it's time to check in with our weather reporter, Jared Clark.
Jared, will we be seeing some more of these hot temperatures, or are we finally going to have a break?
It doesn't look like we're going to get much of a break now with this low pressure system that we have. Let's take a look at the outside right now. And we're looking outside. It's really beautiful out there, some clear skies, the sunlight's going. It's going to be this way pretty much for most of the week. We are maybe going to get a little change toward next week, but for right now, this is just the way it's going to be. So.
All right. Well, thank you for that weather report, Jared. I sure hope those hot days are something of the past.
We'll take a look at, of course, at our weather map.
Okay.
And we're looking at, we got a low pressure system from down north, or from down south actually, that is pushing all this warm weather and keeping it with us. That's what's actually keeping this 90-degree weather with us right now. That high pressure system up to the north of us right now is keeping that cool weather up there. We look at around the country right now, we're seeing 90-degree temperature pretty much all over the country. Chances of slight showers, of course, are going to be in the evening hours for most of the south, but up north they're just seeing beautiful sunny cool weather. Looking up here in Kansas, we're seeing 94, of course, here in Manhattan today. 67 will be the low tonight. It'll be about 95 in Topeka. Looking over to Dodge City, 97 down in Wichita, 90s as well. And for your weekday forecast here tonight, like I said, 67 for the low tonight. We do have a 40% chance for seeing some rain this evening, and partly sunny skies tomorrow. 83 for the high, 60 degrees as we'll see the low for tomorrow, and a 20% chance. No chance for rain coming up on Friday, 78 actually, so we may actually see just a little bit cooler weather there as we'll see it back up into the 80s coming up for Saturday and Sunday with a slight chance for rain as well.
All right, well, thank you, Jared, again.
Thank you, guys.
Teams are full of hope for championships and wins.
But it doesn't always turn out that way.
Channel 8 sports reporter Katie Leapham is here to tell us more about it. Katie?
Yes, thank you, Amy. K-State's women's volleyball is flying high after sweeping through their annual Wildcat Invitational. Southern Illinois, Siena, and Southeast Missouri tried to hang through with the Wildcats, won every set for the entire weekend, maintaining their undefeated record for the season. Carrie Brand had a big weekend as a redshirt freshman, earning K-State's MVP of the tournament. For the equestrians, on Sunday, September 8, Kansas State equestrians team had pure purple and white scrimmage, the Timber Creek Stables in Manhattan. Senior Shayna Barnett earned a top honor in equestrian over fences the set course 8 to 10 jumps on horses positions, jump and riding position. Freshman Martinelli earned a top honor in equestrian on the flat. The flat is a 9 maneuvers while being judged on horse control and riding position. On September 20th, the Wildcat Equestrian will be traveling to Columbia, South Carolina to take on the Gamecocks at 9 Central Time. Hosting the largest season opening crowd in Bill Snyder Family Stadium history, the second largest crowd for the home game. Fans watched as the Big 12 champions lost 24-21 against North Dakota State. North Dakota State started off with a 5-yard touchdown pass from Brock Jensen. Later in the half, Jake Waters connected with Tremaine Thompson for a 45-yard touchdown pass. Despite Cats taking a 21-7 lead, the Bison fought back and downed the Wildcats on a last-minute touchdown drive. With the gut-wrenching defeat behind them, the Cats landed back on their feet with a 48-27 win over Louisiana Lafayette. Jack Cantanelli starts the Cats off with 29-yard field goal in the first half. To start the third quarter, Tremaine Thompson took it to the house on a 94-yard kickoff return. The Cats continued to tack on points for the remainder of the game, causing Willie to do 200 push-ups by the end of the game. Poor Willie. With the start of the new football season, a familiar face will be making some calls in the press box. Channel 8 reporters Zach Doherty has more on this story.
The Kansas State football team was not the only Wildcats to be on TV during the home opener against North Dakota State Bison. Purple has now spread through the press box by the way of alum Craig Bolerjack, and he tells us what it's like coming back to his old stomping grounds.
Lights, camera, Wildcats. Friday at August 30th was a night full of first Wildcats football game of the 2013 season. It was the first time the Wildcats played in Bill Snyder Family Stadium with the new additions towering over them. First time the Fox Sports 1 network televised a football game. And in that brand new press box announcing nationally televised game is KSU alum Craig.
I'll be honest, man, I'm nervous. I was nervous when we came in on Thursday. I actually stopped in Topeka to see my son, and it really was kind of like, wow, this is the real deal, man. This is something I thought about when I was in school, and to actually have this happen tonight in the Deb Nelson press box and the expansion here. Proud to be a Wildcat.
The Bullerjack name lives on at K-State. His son DJ Bullerjack graduated last December and is now working as a TV reporter in Topeka.
Thanks, Zach. For the report, we are going to take one final break. Don't change that channel. We'll be right back with one more look at this weekend's weather.
Wired magazine calls him the explainer. His students call him amazing. Over 20 million YouTube views show that Associate Anthropology Professor Michael Wesch is transforming higher education. Translated to more than 20 languages and counting, Professor Wesch's teachings still share one common voice: passion. And whether you're learning live or online, that passion is contagious. And that passion is one of the leading reasons Kansas State University is first among U.S. public research universities in producing U.S. Case Carnegie Professors of the Year. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. It was the day the music nearly died. Little remained after a 1968 fire roared through Nichols Hall at Kansas State University, reducing the music department to rubble. But before the embers of that terrible fire had even died, a new fire blazed within every member of the Wildcat Band. Using the only sheet music that survived the fire, the band pumped up the next home crowd with a rousing rendition of Wabash Cannonball. To this day, the jingle, the rumble, and the roar still fire up the fans and brings them to their feet. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. We are now joined by Brian Brockelman of Wildcat Watch.
So, Brian, can you tell us a little bit about what Wildcat Watch is?
You got it. Well, Wildcat Watch, it's a student-run video production group here on campus. The nice thing about it, you can get experiences you can't necessarily get in the classroom. We do things like short film. We do a lot of live event coverage, so it's a really great experience for students looking to really hone in their skills and boost that resume.
Great, and how do students get involved with this? What's the process?
Well, really it's an open meeting. Our meetings are Thursday nights at 6 p.m. here in Dole Hall. So if you have passion, creativity, or just want to get involved, just hit us up. We'll be here at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Great, thank you so much for being here.
You got it, thanks.
We are now going to take one last look at the weather, but first, Jared, I need to try some of that tea that you were bringing outside.
That's right. It's a couple more days of getting some beautiful sunlight here. We got some 80-degree weather finally, just a tad bit cooling off. It's still going to feel very humid outside, but you know, still some perfect weather to make some sun tea out there.
Tastes great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for that final look, Jared. I'm going to be looking forward to some cooler temperatures for that game on Saturday.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have here today for Channel 8 News. From Shelby, Katie, Jared, and myself, thanks for joining us.